So apparently Brett Favre is upset over defamation of all the circulating news articles around Brett Favre and the situation with Mississippi. Um, I think that so apparently Brett Favre is suing Shannon Sharp, Pat McAfee, and another guy named Shad White, who was the auditor of the defamation lawsuits in Mississippi. So essentially, what happened was Brett Favre received state funds from Mississippi to that he, and when he was supposed to. So basically, Brett Favre received state funds from Mississippi when he was supposed to do speaking engagements for charities, and that he never did these things. He took the money, and then in return, he used that money to put it towards a volleyball stadium for his daughter, right? In his name. Now, he took this money. What the gray area is, Brett Favre is saying he didn't know where the funds came from, but their text message is showing otherwise. He's saying he didn't know where it came from, and he's saying that he paid the money back, but he didn't pay the interest back. And I think that's what they're disputing now. So they dropped the initial case, and they now are saying that he also received $5 million in TAM funds, according to a state audit. Text messages showed that Brett Favre pushed state officials for funding a new volleyball facility on campus during the time his daughter was on the team. Mr. Favre has called the auditor White and his team liars, despite repaying some of the money our office demanded from him. Freeman said this is Favre's lawyer. Thursday, he also claimed the auditors are liars despite clear documentary evidence showing he benefited from the misspent funds. Instead of paying the New York litigator to try this case, he better off. He said he'd be better off repaying the amount to welfare funds he owes to the state. So essentially, he wants to pay it back to the states, not to the New York litigators. But basically, here's the thing: he filed a lawsuit against Shannon Sharp, and filed a lawsuit against Pat McAfee. Essentially, Shannon Sharp said, "Sorry, mofo, to steal from the lowest of the low, and stole money from people that really needed money." Similar allegations were made in a lawsuit Favre against former NFL punter Pat McAfee. According to the suit, McAfee called Favre a thief who was stealing from poor people in Mississippi. The suit also accuses McAfee of making similar remarks on Twitter. Favre's spokesman declined to comment on a lawsuit. Now, here's the thing. Brett Favre used money. There's text messages showing that he was aware of where it came from. There's also text messages showing that he wanted to know. He was making sure people didn't know where it came from and hoping no one will find out where it came from. And what Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee are doing are giving their opinion, but they're also spitting out facts. He stole from the lowest people in Mississippi, right? Which I think are consistent of what he said. He did use the funds and try to build money for a volleyball stadium at his daughter's team. Now, what in a situation like this, what happens, right? What is Favre looking for, right? What does Favre get out of trying to sue McAfee and Shannon Sharp? Shannon Sharp and McAfee, they've built empires on, as analysts now at being retired football players in their career. Shannon Sharp is on Fox with Skip, Undisputed, and Pat McAfee is one of the if not the largest, but one of the top podcasts that people go to for sports analysis, etc. And their delivery is kind of the same, even though sometimes they're not necessarily consistent in what they say, but their delivery is kind of the same. And they both spoke about this. Now, Shad White's the auditor. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's just trying to hurt his pockets or whatnot. But the question is, does Brett Favre have a case? And I think the clean, smooth answer is no. Brett Favre does not have a case because Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee, from what they stated that he said, were first opinions and truthful. He did take money, and he repaid it. Just because you repaid it back doesn't mean you didn't take money, right? And the only reason you paid it back was because you got caught, right? It wasn't you volunteering, hey, look, I didn't do these things, I paid it back. It was because they did an audit, and they found that hey, look, he got money and he never did these speaking engagements. So that were supposed to be for impoverished kids, impoverished families, impoverished community. So they're not lying about what they said, right? What they said was he did this, which he did, and regardless of if you paid it back, and he didn't even pay it back, he didn't pay back the interest. They don't have ground. He doesn't have grounds. Now, could this be an attempt for Brett Favre to hurt Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee's pockets? Maybe, but do I think it's going to hurt their pockets? Not really. You know, these two guys have they already do, and they have a team, they have attorneys that already are for situations like this, especially with these two guys having a podcast. They probably already have attorneys or someone that lawyer that works with them that for these type of situations, and they probably had throughout their whole career. So it's going to hurt their pockets. No. What is Brett Favre getting out of this? You can't clear your name, especially it's almost like this. If I stole from you, and then I said, and then you found out money was missing, you came to me and you said, "Oh, here you go, and give it back." But I only gave back a portion of it of what I owed you or what I was supposed to owe you. And when I said I was gonna, give back, and then somebody called me a thief because I stole it and never gave it back, and I knew that I had no intentions of giving it back. Brett Favre has no case here, so I expect this to get shot down in court. His case against White, Shad White's been interesting, shamelessly and falsely attacking Favre's good name to advance his political career. Favre has not been criminally charged, so they dropped the $1 million case, and now they're suing him for $5 million for the TAMP funds for his daughter's stadium. So more of this is going to unfold, and I think that Brett Favre should just pay the money back, pay the $300 some dollar. Here you go, $228,000 back for interest. Come clean about it. It's better you come clean because everyone thinks you're a scumbag right now at this point. So if you want to clear your name, just come clean about it. Say you made a mistake, and then maybe do some more from free speaking engagement. Like it's a speaking engagement. Like for impoverished kids, like you really like, what I'm saying? Like really, you can't just go speak anyway. So We'll see what happens with this one. Interesting one. I don't think anything's going to come up out of it. But, hey, Favre's trying to make a push to clear his name.